Thanks everyone for being with us today. We're delighted to have you in Littleton. I'm Keith Bergman, the Littleton Town Administrator. And this is a busy day for the town of Littleton. We had a groundbreaking for a hotel right before this. We've got high school graduation tonight. But this is a major event in our community's history today with the groundbreaking ceremony. I guess I need to say official groundbreaking ceremony because the ground is well broken behind us for the new 450,000 square foot fulfillment center, which Condyne and Square Mile Capital Management are developing for the Potpourri Group. Littleton Town Meeting voters have overwhelmingly supported this initiative, this facility here, by last November approving a tax increment financing agreement, a TIF agreement, recognizing that there's an investment of some $49 million being made here to construct and equip what will be a state-of-the-art facility for the Potpourri Group. Potpourri employs 227 people in other towns, but is relocating them here to Littleton, and we're glad that the jobs are staying inside Massachusetts, to a larger site here where there will be added another 130 year-round jobs and a good deal of seasonal jobs as well. We think Potpourri Group is a great fit for our town, a great neighbor for this neighborhood, and will be a great member of our community. So we're very happy to be here today to celebrate this event. We've got a number of speakers, and I'm going to start first by introducing Jeff O'Neill and Don O'Neill of Condyne, the property owner. And before doing, I just want to say Jeff and Don are already part of Littleton history, that there's a historic site called the Long Store, which we had to disassemble in order to construct the Point facility over at exit 31 and 495, and the remains of the Long Store were put in storage, and we needed to be able to have our curator look at them. They've been in a trailer, and thanks to the huge building right next door at number 1 distribution center circle, we've been looking at the Long Store and having the curator help us figure out what the future of that historic structure will be. So already this place is a part of our history. So with that, I'd like to invite up Jeff O'Neill from Condyne. Jeff.
First of all, thank you. So thank you for attending today. A little bit of note, as of Monday, everyone was probably sitting in about 12 to 16 inches of water here. So the site really drains well, which is good to see. And we do appreciate, Keith, your support. Yes, we will be conducting tours of the historical building at some period of time. But anyways, to get on with the presentation, definitely our thanks go out to Keith Bergman. You've been instrumental in guiding us through all the process, stuck with us from beginning to end in the whole time period and all the boards and everything else, as well as Jim Carr, the head of the selectmen. So we appreciate that and all your support and endorsement for the project. Again, as Keith alluded to, this is truly a partnership. This project went through a special town vote. So we'd like to thank the residents of Littleton for having us, and also our tenant Potpourri for coming to the marketplace. But it takes a lot of partnership between public and private development as well, and that was great to see that was here. So again, to our friends at the Mass Office of Business Development and the state officials and their support, Congressman Tsongas is here, Senator Eldridge, and Representative Arcier. So we appreciate your support and everything else. To our tenant, I'll just make a quick introduction to John Fleischman, the CEO of Potpourri Group, Ken Long as well, and Taris is in the back there as well. So it's been a long process, and we're glad to see it underway and finally coming to fruition. Again, to our real estate brokers, we have Greg Zace here from Jones Lang LaSalle, JLL, and also Deborah Tamulis from Thompson Partners that's here. Again, thanks go to Lynn Tozer from Business Development Strategies in guiding us through the governmental incentive process, as well as, most importantly, as our finance group that's involved, Charlie Ockman from Square Mile Capital. He's traveled up from New York today, and also Mark Stelwag from M&T Bank, who's financing the project. Mark's here as well, and John Everly. So we appreciate that, and I'll turn it over to Don, who can describe the project and the site in more detail. Thank you.
Thanks for everybody showing up today. Keith, as a lot of work was being done behind the scenes, we had a whole nother team with your team. The Planning Board, the Conservation Commission, the Building Department, the Fire Department, the Police Department, the Water Department, all hands out helping us, guide us through kind of a fast-track permitting schedule. And with that infrastructure, they helped us make to where we are today in gaining the permit to begin construction. Thank you. We've assembled a design team on this project, people that we've done business in the past, but also people that understand what a big facility like this takes. All our design team is here today. We've been tested with some code issues along the way. We've had some give and take, but at the end of the day, you can see what's going on behind us. Condyne Engineering Group, Mark Dibb, handled all the civil engineering here that's on site. This was not the cleanest site, as everybody knows, but as you can see, it's starting to clean up and be what it is supposed to be, a part of the development. Curtis Architectural Group, James Malarkey. James is here. James, this is James's work. He's done everything from the architectural inside of this building, outside. He understands distribution and fulfillment centers. And James, thanks for all your input today. Stacy Flood. Stacy Flood is flood consultant. Flood consultant puts the pieces together so this building will stand up and stay here for a long time. Stacy, thanks for your quick turnaround on your efforts. Avid Engineers. Avid Engineers handle all the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire protection in this. With his group, he was able to turn drawings around so we could submit on time to the building department for review. Bob McCormick and Anthony Almonte, thanks for your effort. On the tenant side, diversified project management. Peter Cullinan, he's done an excellent job corralling both sides of the fence and coordinating all our efforts to streamline moving forward. And Boston Industrial, Bob Liptrop, and Jason, thank you for your input. Everything that you see on the far right is their work that's going to keep this building efficient and handle the growth in the future. So we have, as far as the construction going, is one element. The amount of money that's being invested into this building is significant. Thank you. As we climb the permitting ladder, we also put together one of the best construction general contracting group that has vast experience in construction. They've spent many hours in scheduling, working with subcontractors for pricing, and managing the site to where we are here today. The progress that is behind us is shown in their efforts to date. Led by Jay Dacey, John Concanon, Dean Kelleher, and on-site daily supervisions from Jim Leitner and Ryan Akins. We thank you for your support and the organized effort that is going on out here, as well as keeping safety as a priority. It is now our responsibility to deliver this building on time, which we are on schedule to meet the demands of the first quarter of 2016. It's been a team effort from the start, and it will continue to the end. A little bit about the project, I'll step right through it. It's a 52-acre site. It's 450,000 square foot building. It has a metal panel. It has shipping doors on one side, receiving doors on the other. Truck staging for the future. And we have accent at the front office with glass and vertical blue panels to give it a little character. It will have over 400 car parking spaces. It will have a backup generator. And inside it will have 20,000 square feet of office that will have management offices, training rooms, break rooms, printer rooms, anything that goes with a call center and a data center. To the left inside the building, on the far drawing here, the left is all storage racks, and to the right it will be able to handle 3 mezzanines high to handle the growth as Potpourri acquires and continues to expand. There's a lot of activity going on behind us, and I can step right through it on what's going on, but I feel the guy responsible day in and day out should come up here and just explain briefly what's happening. And I'd like to have Jim Leitner come on up, please.
Okay, pretty much as you can see, a lot of the activity behind us. Currently on the far southwest side of the site, we have a crushing operation where we've taken all the materials that were left over the years from the precast industry, recycled it into concrete gravel, which is going to be used under the slabs, as well as any leftover spoil piles, asphalt materials, etc., that will be used out on the site. Currently behind us, the foundation work is started on the first half of the building. As you can see, we're doing about a 250-yard concrete wall pour today. We're about 25% done with the foundation. Steel is slated to come first week of July, and it's going to be pretty much an assembly line. Half the foundation will be completed, and we'll start with the structural steel, and one scope of work will follow the other, with roughly about 25% of the building that we've established as a safety zone so that trades don't overlap in each area, so that we can maximize the schedule and deliver this fulfillment center for next year as we've all worked together as a team and constructed the schedule. We have an off-site mining operation up behind the trees that we've tried to conceal so that later, once the facility's done, that you don't see where we've scarred the earth to take material to get the area of the building up to grade. That hole will be filled in with trees, and when we leave here next year, you never know that activities took place behind the trees, I guess. Other than that, you know, I'm honored to be here with the team to have this task and this goal to be involved in this, and open to any questions after the others speak.
How many folks are working on site?
Right now we got about 40 people on site, but once the project gets up to speed, we got about 25 iron workers coming the first week of July. Once again, after that, starting around the first week of August, we probably have about 15 metal panel contractors. Woven in with that, there'd be underground activities for electrical and plumbing in the building. You know, there'd be a half a dozen full-time electricians, half a dozen plumbers, you know, until the structure gets up. Right behind the panel system that will be going up mid-August, there'll be a crew of 20 to 25 roofers that will start on the south side of the building, and it will just be, as I said, an assembly line. So if someone came back here around late August, you're going to see structural steel being erected on this end, metal panels a third of the way down the building, a roof about 20% done, working to position ourselves so that we have a complete, fully enclosed building, so we can place the slabs right after Labor Day, which will give us the ultimate perfect condition to provide a almost perfect slab is what we're striving for, with flatness and levelness, so that obviously over the life of the building, it's going to perform for Potpourri Group and other activities.
Nice.
I think I
You hit it
hope
all.
I covered it.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next, I'd like to call up Jonathan Fleischman, who is the president and CEO of Potpourri Group, and welcome to the Littleton community. Thanks very much.
It's really great to see everyone here today. When I was driving over from North Billerica, I was really nervous that everyone had this groundbreaking in their Outlook, and when they saw how nice it was, that they would leave it in their Outlook, but not actually make it to the site. So it's really great to have you all here. And the other advantage of having you all here is if Jim is running a little bit behind today, I thought maybe we could all help out for an hour or two after having a drink. Wouldn't that be good, productive? So I'll try to be brief here, get us back a little bit on track. I just want to convey sort of, why we are so pleased to be here today. That PGI is dates back to 1963 when our first catalog was mailed by the Knowles family in Medfield, and Massachusetts has been our home, and we've found success here for a long, long time. And our growth has really led to this mission to expand our operational platform and to support our next chapter. And that mission ultimately brought us here to Littleton. And there was some time in the interim while there was hand-wringing at our board level due to the recession. We've been operating at capacity. We're required to go through consultants' reports, and there were identified savings that were proposed that we would find if we were to relocate to the Midwest. But we concluded that the risks associated with losing our core staff in combination with losing the face-to-face collaboration that we have with our corporate headquarters being only 20 minutes away was just too big a risk and could quickly erode those forecasted benefits that the consultants showed us in Excel sheets and PowerPoints. But this project wouldn't have come to fruition without the unified commitment and the bench strength of a full complement of skills and resources. And I'd like to just take a minute to recognize some of those key players. You've heard their names, some of them already. Greg Zace, who I know is here, and Neil Ross from Jones Lang LaSalle, really had the confidence in us to invest years of time, and I really appreciate it, Greg. Most of you know how the commercial real estate business works. It's a big investment, it's a big risk. You get paid nothing, you put in hard work, and these guys were just unbiased and forthright in their counsel, and I am positive we've made the right decision with their support. Jeff and Don, they provided us with a strong proposal right from the outset, and then miraculously hung in there through what was probably a world record on the wrong side lease negotiation that was certainly challenging, but I felt respectful through the whole process, and Charlie, you contributed to that as well. Lynn Tokarczyk, who's on the board of AIM with me, really was instrumental as founder of Business Development Strategies in really leading us quite efficiently through the whole process of getting the local and state tax incentives that we really needed to make the economics of this project work for us. Because again, we were comparing this to a lower cost structure that might have been available to us in Ohio or Tennessee. Peter Cullinan from Diversified has worked with us for years now, handled a pretty complicated and successful move into a new office building where we basically jettisoned everything that we owned in Chelmsford just 3 years ago, and replaced systems, furnishings, everything. And we built out that 80,000-foot office building we're in now, and everybody's enjoying. And Peter played an instrumental role in that, and again is doing the same here. As Jeff said, I think, assuring that we're going to achieve an on-spec, on-time, on-budget result that's really going to be to the benefit of both parties. And last but not least, definitely shout out goes to Kin Lung, our CFO, and Taras Kowalson, our VP of Ops, who've really brought their decades of experience and hard work to the table, and their leadership and ideas, and not the least, their ability to forge productive compromises, because getting a deal like this done is got to be a two-way street. It's got to work on a mutual basis, and they were able to do that. So again, thank you all for taking the time, to celebrate the beginning of our new era here in Littleton and our reaffirmation of our commitment to Massachusetts. And I think everybody can agree that locating here in Littleton is an all-round win for the community, the state, and for Potpourri. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jonathan, and I want to echo the thanks as well to Kin and Taras, who we got to know very well over the last several months in the course of our negotiations, and we're delighted that we've reached this day, and I know how hard you worked to get us here, so thank you. Next, I'd like to welcome back to Littleton a great friend and supporter of all that we do. She has been representing Littleton and this district in the United States House of Representatives since 2007, and it's always a privilege to welcome back Congresswoman Nikki Tsongas. Thank you.
And I have to say, it's always a real privilege to be welcomed back to Littleton, because it's always such a good day. There's usually so many good things happening here, and I think today, while I missed the groundbreaking of the hotel at the Point, being here today as part of this effort is reflective of that. And I think it's a testament to the leadership that Keith has brought to his efforts, and to the willingness of the town to work closely with those who seek to come here and build here and create jobs here. And I'd like to thank you for walking through all that's happening here. I've never really had that happen before, and it was kind of fun to hear it all. So thank you, and I look back to coming back at some point and seeing some of that progress. But as I was listening to everybody, I think really what it's a testament to is, one, the kind of partnership it takes between government and the private sector. That these projects are not simple, that issues come up, and rather than being a cause for walking away, sometimes it's a call to dig in deeper and just work it through. And as I've heard you all speak today, it's clear that we're here today as a result of that kind of thinking. It's great to welcome a company like Potpourri to this part of the district. At one point, I represented Grdbrk, no longer, sadly, and do represent Chelmsford. So while you're not entirely new to the district, you are an innovative company who's led the way in e-commerce, and so it's great to welcome an innovative company here as well. And to be in a community that is business friendly, while also recognizing the closely held values that those who live here have. We did the anniversary, the 300th year anniversary parade last year, and this is a historic community that values its roots in that history, and so to be able to combine growth with respect for what is here is always a challenge. And so it's great to be here, to be part of the progress Littleton is showing, and always great to work with your leadership in Keith Bergman and all of you who helped to lead this great town. So thank you. Honored to be here.
Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to invite up our State Senator Jamie Eldridge, who has represented our state senatorial district since 2009, and who we always have something to ask Jamie for, and we've got a long list that I need to talk to you about after the meeting. So welcome back, Jamie.
Great. Well, thank you, Keith, and it's an honor to be here. I want to welcome Mr. Fleischman and Mr. Long and the other senior team for Potpourri Group for coming to Littleton, for making the decision to move your warehouse headquarters here. I'm incredibly proud for this warehouse to be here. I'm not much of a catalog or e-commerce person, but in doing the research about Potpourri Company, I know that you're a world-class company, and perhaps I should look more into that. Thank you, Jonathan. But I also just want to thank all the stakeholders. Forgive me for not naming everyone, but I did want to recognize Lynn Tokarczyk for her work, as well as Brad McDougall of AIM. I know AIM had a critical role, as well as Lynn, on the tax incentive side, both the local and the state tax incentive that helped, as Jonathan recounted, helped convince Potpourri Group to stay here in Massachusetts with this warehouse operations. And then I did want to recognize not only Keith Bergman, but Jim Carr, and I know she's in the back, Melissa Hebert on the Board of Selectmen, for her work, and Paula Valescu. I didn't see you, Paul. Paul, thank you very much for being here as well. And I think really what's happened in Littleton over the past few years is become not only a very business-friendly town, but I think a very thoughtful town in terms of what means the most to people in Littleton. It's not just about excellent schools, but it's about great recreational opportunities and also infrastructure. And on that point, I would emphasize something that Congresswoman Tsongas, Representative Arciero, and I have worked really hard on, is advocating for both federal and state infrastructure investments, whether the work on the Fitchburg commuter rail or the improvements to some of the highways here in Littleton. And I think we know, and I think particularly would emphasize, given that this is a catalog company that will be delivering many products over our roads and bridges in this area, the transportation infrastructure is so critical to welcoming business to Massachusetts and to this region. So thanks very much for having me, and I'm very impressed with the construction already underway, and I wish you the best as it gets finished. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jamie. Next we have State Representative Jim Arciero, who's been representing Littleton in the Massachusetts House of Representatives since 2009, and I also have a long list for you, Jim, afterwards. So, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Congratulations, Potpourri. This is an exciting time for Littleton. I'm starting to feel like, and I said this at the groundbreaking about an hour ago, that I should have a hard helmet and a shovel in my back trunk for every single time I come to Littleton, because this is certainly, I represent the towns of Chelmsford, Littleton, and Westford, and the 110 corridor is one of the fastest growing high-tech and economic development regions anywhere in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And Senator Eldridge and Manager Bergman touched on it a little bit, and that is the great public and private partnerships that we've had in this region since Jamie and myself and Congresswoman Tsongas have all been able to work together since 2009. And it's an exciting time. We've been able to leverage improvements in transportation and infrastructure and tax incentives to attract businesses here, but also to help grow jobs as well. So this is something to be proud of. It's something, the momentum we want to continue, especially during this economic downturn in 2009, 2010. We certainly bucked the trend here in Littleton and in this region, and it's an exciting thing. So to honor and to have Potpourri come here to Littleton, I have a citation from the General Court from Senator Eldridge and I. So John, I'd like you to step forward if I could. And it reads, be it known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offer sincere congratulations to the Potpourri Group, the Potpourri family, like to say, in recognition of the groundbreaking for your new 450,000 square foot catalog hall and fulfillment center in the town here of Littleton, signed by the Speaker of the House, the Senate President, Senator Eldridge, and myself. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Next, I'd like to invite up with words of welcome and greeting from the Board of Selectmen, Chairman Jim Carr. Jim.
Well, you know that old saying, they save the best for last. So on behalf of Littleton and on behalf of the Board of Selectmen, I'd like to congratulate Condyne Square Mile Capital on this project. I'd also like to welcome the Potpourri Group to Littleton. You know, in Littleton we talk about community and how we want the businesses in town to be part of our community. Well, Potpourri has already started that, and we don't even see the construction up in the air yet. The Potpourri Group participated in our 15th annual Tiger Golf Tournament, which is a benefit to our Littleton Tigers football team, who was state champions 2 years ago and made it to the Super Bowl last year. So already they're getting involved in the community. So I say thank you for that, and I look forward to you next year in the tournament also. I'd also like to recognize Selectman Hebert and Selectman Avello. You know, it's a very busy time of year for everybody, and we take our job serious in town. We're a small town, but we have a lot to do, and we have a lot to say. So I appreciate them coming up. Also, the planning board, conservation, and the other folks in town. We don't get paid for this stuff. We do it because we love this town, and we do it because we want groups like the Potpourri Group to come into town and be part of our communities. So that being said, again, I enjoyed the construction piece also. Who doesn't like big trucks and excavators and bulldozers? So thank you for that. One last thing, and it was mentioned once before, we really need to thank the citizens of this town, because they're the folks that actually said yes to the TIF. They're the folks that said yes to the host community agreement, and they welcomed you in also. So for all the residents of town, I say thank you to you too. And with this beautiful weather, hopefully it continues throughout the weekend, and have a great one. Thank you.
Thanks very much. We're getting ready now for the ceremonial groundbreaking with the shovels. But before so doing, I just wanted to recognize a couple of folks here that we haven't made a fuss over yet. Melissa Fedoroff is our president of the Neshoba Valley Chamber of Commerce, and is always supportive of what we're doing for businesses in this community, and is here for a groundbreaking or ribbon cutting. She brings her own scissors to the ribbon cuttings. So we're already set for next March. So, and then also Paul Matthews, who's the executive director of the 495 Metro West Partnership, which is our public-private economic development council in the Metro West area. And also Paul happens to be one of the people who sits on the Economic Assistance Coordinating Commission, who voted at the state level to approve the TIF. So thank you, Paul. Very good. So I want to thank all the town staff, town officials that came out here to join us as well, and appreciate the great turnout from our legislative delegation and from all the business folks and everyone who had something to do with this day to get us here. And now let's go dig a hole. Thank you. Thanks very much.
You all gonna grab some dirt? You ready? Someone at the count of three.
Everybody just kind of look up here.
3.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, let's do that again.
I think we're filling in a hole.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more.
Partnership, see this partnership working?
There's no more dirt left.
Okay,
1, 2, 3.
Come on, one more. I'm working up a sweat.
Yeah, Tara's up there.
Okay, all right. On the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. All right. And let's do one more on 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. Now just one, just a little tighter. Pull it dirt.
This is overtime now, you know.
And on the count of 3 here, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. And one more.
We lift. Put some lift in that.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, can we tighten this end up a little bit, Jeff?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, guys, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, and one more. Ready? 1, 2, 3.